Good afternoon, everybody. This is the first video of the FireWxPy tutorial series on the SouthOps YouTube channel. I'm Predictive Services Meteorologist Eric Drewitz with the USDA U.S. Forest Service, and I'm also the developer of FireWxPy. So in this tutorial series, we're going to teach you all how to set up and use FireWxPy to make whatever graphics you want for your operations. So in this first video, we're going to just show you how to get set up FireWxPy, how to set up a Conda environment, how to install Jupyter Lab, which is where you write your script, and how to install FireWxPy. So that way you're set up for success in our future videos where you could walk through with us how to make a script using FireWxPy to create the graphics you want for your specific area. Okay, so to start out, we want to open our Anaconda prompt. Now, in order to install Anaconda or Miniconda, I will post a link to a good video tutorial in the description on how to do that. The tutorial is made by Unidata, which are the developers of MetPy. I highly recommend you check out their channel. So we opened our Anaconda prompt by typing CMD into the start. And then you do not want this command prompt. You want this Anaconda prompt. So we have that open here. So I made a folder inside my user / Eric Drewitz, which is my name, called Python projects. Now in this video, we're using a Windows operating system. So we're going to use Windows commands in this command prompt right here. There are tutorials online on the commands for if you want to use, if you're using a Linux operating system or a Mac operating system. Here in the Forest Service, we use Windows, and during my time in the Weather Service, as long as you're not using an AWXPy machine, you are on Windows. So Windows is a common operating system throughout the federal agencies, so that is the one we are going to use for these video tutorials. So that being said, I want to type cd space Python projects. Okay, so now we're in our Python projects folder. So I want to type dir. Dir is lists all the contents in the directory. So basically, it is the Windows version of ls-l. And you can see we have a blank directory. So since we're on a government computer and not a personal computer, we want to create a new environment because the permissions on a government computer do not allow you as a user to modify the base Anaconda environment. So we want to create a new Conda environment. If you're on a personal computer, you can do whatever you want with the base Anaconda environment, but it's always a good practice to create a new environment for when you want to run new things, because the dependencies for one thing might interfere with dependencies from another thing. You might want to run a different version of Python for one thing, but a different version for another thing. So for FireWxPy, the criteria is you want to be running at least Python 3.10. So you want to run Python 3.10 as your bare minimum. We could check the version of Python we're running on this machine by typing Python --version, and we're running Python 3.11. That being said, if we create a new environment, we can run any other version of Python we want for that specific environment. And I will show you how to do that momentarily. First, let's look at the list of active environments we have. So we type in conda space env for environments space list. And this should list all the environments that we have. So we have the base environment, and then we have this test environment I made earlier today when I was testing some things out. So in this tutorial, we're going to create a new environment called test1. And in test1, that is where we're going to set up our Jupyter Lab, install that via pip, and then install via Anaconda our FireWxPy package. So, to create a new environment, we want to type the following: conda create -n space our environment name, which in this case will be test1. And now we want to specify the version of Python that we want to use. So like I said, you need at least Python 3.10. So we're going to try to get, we're running 3.11. I'll tell you what, we'll go to Python 3.12. So this is what our code should look like to create our new environment called test1 in Python 3.12. So we'll press enter. And now this is running. It's going to take a couple minutes. I will come back when this is done running. Okay, so here you'll see we had this pop-up. This is normal. This basically says the following packages will be installed since it went out and took some time to find what's needed to build the new environment. So you can see we have our Python 12, and then all these packages that are used to build our base environments for our new, or a base of our new environment. So we want to type Y, and now it's going to build the new environment, and it takes a couple minutes. And we will return when this new environment is built. Okay, so we're back. We created our new environment. You could see we have our preparing, verifying, and executing transactions are all done. And it shows us here at the bottom how to activate our new environment. So let's show you the list of environments, and then we're going to activate our new environment. So conda env list. Now you remember before we only had two environments. We had our base and we had our test. Now we should have three environments, which you see here, our base, our test, and our test1, which we just created. So now we want to activate our test1. So we want to type conda activate test1. Enter. And now you'll see in the parentheses on your left, instead of it saying base, it says test1. That means we're in the test1 environment. Now, if I type in Python -- version, as you remember before in our base environment, we were running 3.11.5. Now we're running 3.12.8. So in our base environment, we had Python 3.11. In this new environment that we created, we are running Python 3.12. So first, let's quickly install Jupyter Lab via pip. And we'll do that before we install FireWxPy. So to do that, and Jupyter Lab is a great place to write Python code, to play around with code, experiment with code. It's a very powerful tool. I highly recommend you use it if you want to code in Python, especially if you're newer to Python and just newer to programming. It's a great place to practice coding and to learn. It's where I learned. Okay, so I highly recommend it. So we're going to type in pip install Jupyter Lab. Enter. And now we're going to download and install the needed packages for a Jupyter Lab. This will take a few minutes, so we will come back when it's done installing. Okay, so we successfully installed Jupyter Lab. So now we're going to search for and install FireWxPy. So I am not a first-time conda user, so we're going to search for FireWxPy to see if we could find the package. So we're going to type in conda, search FireWxPy. For those of you who might not know, WX is an abbreviation for weather. So this will take a minute or so. We're going to search for FireWxPy. Now, FireWxPy is hosted on the Conda Forge channel of Anaconda. Conda Forge is a channel that is for open source, community-driven projects. There's a lot of other great projects in meteorology and in science in general on the Conda Forge channel, including MetPy, which is a dependency of FireWxPy. I highly recommend you check out MetPy. It is a very important Python package for meteorology. That is on the Conda Forge channel. Now, one thing I will show you is we'll be able to find FireWxPy because we have the channel, as you can see right there, FireWxPy 1.3. That's the latest version of FireWxPy. But if you're a first-time Conda user, you will not be able to find FireWxPy because you have to add the Conda Forge channel to your Anaconda environments. So we will show you right now on how to add the Conda Forge channel. It's only something you have to do once, because it's only for a first-time user setup who's using Anaconda. And we'll type in the code. It's not going to do anything on this machine because we already have it set up. So if you're someone who cannot find FireWxPy or any package on the Conda Forge channel, you type in conda config dash add channels conda dash forge, enter. And so now for me, I got the warning that says it's already in our channels list, meaning it was already there. But if you didn't have Conda Forge on your list, that's how you add it. So now if you were to type in conda search FireWxPy, you should see it pop up. So now, last but not least, we're going to install FireWxPy. So we're going to type conda install FireWxPy. And so this should take a couple minutes. We will come back when this is installed. Okay, so here it has all the dependencies to install for FireWxPy. It's dependencies and the dependencies of the dependencies. So quite a few packages you need. So here we're going to type Y for yes. And now it should finish the installation process. And it usually will take another couple minutes. So we'll come back when this process is done. Okay, so we successfully installed FireWxPy. I will show you now. We'll go type conda list. And this lists all the Python packages that are in my current Conda environment. So we started with a new environment. So basically a blank environment, no packages except for a few that are required to create the environment. And now you see we have quite a bit of packages here. And if we go to F, you see right here, FireWxPy 1.3. We have the latest version of FireWxPy. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. Please subscribe to our SouthOps YouTube channel for additional FireWxPy tutorials, as well as weather updates from our webcast and other educational videos that one of my colleagues, Kristen Stewart, creates that are just general weather education. So if you like that stuff, please consider subscribing. I hope you found this helpful, and you all have an awesome day.